Good morning, colleagues. This is not a Monday morning musing. This is a Tuesday morning. Message from the Dean. Today is June the 2nd. I want to first of all say that I'm sending this recording through an email to all of our department heads and directors and secretaries. You can disseminate it if you deem it's proper to other people. I'm also including a link to an article from Forbes magazine about communication in the body of the email. And I encourage you to look at that particular article that talks about 5 communication skills. And I want to talk about communication, leadership communication, for just a moment with you this morning. First of all, we acknowledge that communication is always tremendously important. But it is extremely important in days of uncertainty and crisis, and when we are absent from one another, such as we have been this summer. I want to also acknowledge up front that communication, good communication, and gossip and spreading information and things like that are not the same. It is acknowledged that knowledge is power. To know something puts you in an advantageous position. And this is one of the reasons why some people want to be in the know and keep their ear to the ground about everything going on. And you know who those people are, I guess, in your life, in your domain. If you really want to find out something, you can communicate with so-and-so, and they know the lowdown on everything. And I suppose that gives them a feeling of importance. But I want to suggest 2 or 3 things as far as communication skills for leaders are concerned. Number 1, I would say, if this were a counseling session or class, I would say that nonverbal communication is critically important. Body language and posture. But in an online environment and in a virtual environment, you do not have the benefit sometimes to generate all of the nonverbal feedback that you might have if you were in person. Now, you can certainly generate feedback, nonverbal feedback from my message today by the tone of my voice and the words that I use, and even the appearance on my face. Those things speak loudly as well. So nonverbal communication is very important. Number 2, I would say that it is important for the communicator who is a leader to listen. I am speaking to myself this morning, and I need to further develop my listening skills. I need to listen between the lines. I need to listen to what is not said as much as to what is said. I need to listen to try to discern the reasons why someone is saying what they're saying and in the manner in which it is being said. So listening skills are terrifically important. And sometimes you have to listen through a lot of different verbiage in order to distill the message down to its essence. And as we are listening, it's important to give feedback and clarification, and ask for clarification to see if we're understanding the message that we're intended to understand. And a sentence like this, I think I hear you saying so-and-so. Am I understanding that correctly, or am I missing something? So getting feedback and giving the speaker, the communicator, the opportunity to clarify and feedback is really important. Thirdly, I think we need to plan our communication in times like this very well. I have experienced a little bit of information overload in some communications that I have received over the years, and certainly it is possible during this particular time when we are separated from each other and we try to cram so much into a virtual setting or into a meeting that we have. We often are overwhelmed with lots of information, Some of it is germane, and some of it may not be germane. Some of it may be prophetic and speak out to the future about things that may happen in the future, but the uncertainty of the times and the flexibility of the times keeps that from being definitive. And sometimes we're overwhelmed with too much information. So I would say to those of you as leaders, department heads, and directors, when you're communicating with other people with whom you work, to try to be, like we say good feedback is, try to be lean in the message and in the feedback. That's why I'm only choosing about 3 things this morning to talk about instead of coming out of some of the articles that have 12 communication skills and 10 great communication skills for leaders. I'm only talking about 3 or 4. And number 4, actually, is the development of good video skills. I'm trying to do that with these podcasts. We need to work on our video presence in this kind of environment. All of us are participating in virtual meetings and in presentations and in podcasts of various kinds in a virtual framework. Sometimes we're listening, sometimes we're speaking, and we all need to develop greater video skills. We live in a video world, with YouTube and all the other things that we generate information from and through. And so we need to develop our video skills. And one of the things that I'm trying to do is learn to be succinct and brief in these video presentations, and I still have a long way to go with that. It is important also in our communication to be able to discern what is essential information and what is non-essential but desirable information. Someone has said, and this goes back to Hermann Ebbinghaus in the 1800s and his memory theory, what we tell people first is what they remember best, and what we tell them last is what they remember next best, and then all the stuff between the first and the last gets kind of garbled. So we have to strategically place the important things that we want people to remember in our communication at those important points, either first or last. That's another way of saying what people have always said. If you want somebody to remember something, tell them what you're going to tell them, then tell them you told them. And maybe the first or the last will overcome the garbled middle. I appreciate all of you and all that you're doing. I encourage you to take a good look at the read of the Forbes article that I'm going to include. And please give me feedback. If Dr. Turner is not clear about something, and if I'm giving you too much information and you're overwhelmed, I need to hear that. And I welcome that information. I'm learning to be a better communicator, as we all are. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you on tomorrow at the Department Head and Directors meeting at 1:30. Have a great day.